Welcome to The Deciding Point, our Cracked Racquets weekly breakdown of the biggest storylines happening throughout the tennis world. On this week's show, we've got to put a bow on our coverage of the 2021 Wimbledon. Ashley Barty emerging as your lady singles champion, solidifying her spot at the top of the WTA rankings, earning the second slam title of her career as well. Of course, we also have to talk about some of the other storylines. Who were the biggest winners of the natural surface swing, the clay and grass court seasons here in 2021? Who are the players we should be watching most closely heading into the summer hard courts? And then, of course, who are the players closest to capturing the first Grand Slam titles of their careers? All of that and more on today's show. With that in mind, Westhoff, roll those credits. Let's get to it. One of the joys of being a tennis fan is having so many different storylines to monitor at any different point of the year. Of course, as we approach the Grand Slams, there's always two camps of people, right? There are those who continue to root for the favorites, that want to see the Serena Williams, the Naomi Osakas, the Djokovic's, Federer's, Nadal's continue to add to their greatness. There's also the camp of people who are watching out for the next comers. Obviously, on the men's side, there's a whole next-gen ATP campaign associated with finding the next great champions. And while Dominic Thiem has broken through, we continue to wait for the Medvedevs, the Zverevs, the Tsitsipas's, Berrettinis, Rublevs of the world to make their big runs. Now, on the women's side, things are a little bit different. We've already seen Osaka, Andreescu, Kenin, Swiatek capture major titles. We just saw Barbara Krejcikova capture her first Grand Slam title at the 2021 French Open, and even Ashley Barty, who's been at the top of the game via rankings for the past 3 seasons, she still only has 2 slam titles. So while some players have already experienced some success, it's still waiting to see, can those players follow up on that act? And, that captures our attention as well. But of course, you still look at the players who have yet to capture a maiden slam on the women's tour. It's a storyline that will follow every Grand Slam we see competed in. And one of the most enjoyable parts of this 2021 Wimbledon was to see a Karolina Pliskova, who has accomplished so much throughout her course of her career, has done essentially everything but win a Grand Slam title. She had the opportunity to compete for another one, her second Grand Slam final of her career, wasn't able to get over the finish line, but we entered these American hardcourt season now, and she certainly seems like a player that is dangerous, a player we will have our eyes on, because of course all of us are wondering, will she be the next one to capture her first Grand Slam title, take advantage of what feels like a wide open scene right now in the women's game? It gets you thinking of who are the players that are next in line, who are the players we should be watching most closely, and that, of course, leads us to our awards here at Cracked Racquets. You all know we love to make things up. The award we're going with here, the Caroline Wozniacki Next in Line Award. Now, if you came up as a tennis fan like I did in the late aughts, late 2000s, 2010s range, the story was repeatedly on the women's tour. Can Caroline Wozniacki break through? Can she capture that first Grand Slam title? Had so much success at every level of the game, much like Karolina Pliskova, and had made runs to quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, but just could never get over that final hump and capture a Grand Slam title. It was, that was the question entering every slam. It was always in your top 5 questions. Is this the one where Wozniacki gets slam number 1? Now, ultimately, she answers that question yes at the Australian Open, and what felt like a poetic moment seemingly handed off that title, that Caroline Wozniacki belt of next in line, to her opponent in that match, Simona Halep, who we saw struggle in multiple Grand Slam finals before ultimately breaking through. Now she's a multi-time Grand Slam champion. After that, things got a little bit murky, right? Certainly, you would argue one of the biggest, candidates for this award would be Karolina Pliskova, who you look now, career high number 1. Again, she's made 2 major finals, 2 semifinals, 4 quarterfinals. She's won 16 career titles, has 32 top 10 victories, has won about 2/3 of her matches in her career, had a top 10 stretch for 5 consecutive years in the WTA rankings. rankings, has done everything but get over that final hump, win a Grand Slam title. And, for Pliskova, she's always been an elite server at her best. The power she's able to produce on that shot, the location she's able to hit, it allows her to play her +1 aggressive style of play. And certainly that was all in form, all on show throughout her run here at Wimbledon. Drops only 3 sets, I suppose, but, straight sets all the way through the semifinals. She plays second-seeded Arina Sabalenka, takes her 3 sets, earned the victory, only broken once in the match. She drops the first 14 points against top-seeded Ashley Barty, manages to come back, fight off Barty serving for the match in the second set, extend it to a third. The question we had coming into Wimbledon, was someone like a Karolina Pliskova's window closed with all the young next-gen women's talent coming up the rankings and all the players entering their primes, the Sakkari's, the Krejcikovas, the Mertens, who we don't know if they can win 7 matches in a row, but if it's a round of 16 and, they catch Pliskova on the right day, we all believe they can certainly beat her. And so, again, is that window closed for Pliskova? She proves that the answer to that question is no with her level here at Wimbledon. Again, she's still a candidate for this award, but she's not the only one anymore, right? Because you look at Alina Svitolina, who, second round, incredibly disappointing. Wimbledon for the former semifinalist. You look for her, she has a career high number 3 in the rankings. She's someone who's made 2 major semifinals, 5 quarterfinals. She's a WTA Tour Finals champion. She's been the runner-up at 4 different 1,000-level events. She's 35 career top 10 wins. She's won 65% of her career matches. But again, is her ceiling as high as some of these other next-gen players? Does she have the power tennis of a Sabalenka, who hasn't won a slam, and by the way is absolutely a candidate for this list by every metric? We talk about her enough. For those who don't know, of course, career high of number 3. She's made that first slam semifinal, but she's won 4 1,000 level events. She's won, I think it's like 78% of her matches over the last 52 weeks. She's won 4 titles and 5 finals. She has been exceptional over this run. She's a candidate, but so is Alina Svitolina. You can't say the window has closed on someone who is yet to turn 28 years old, who, again, while her best level may not be as high as a Sabalenka, as even a Rybakina, that sort of power tennis that just blows you off the court, or the Osakas and Andreescu's of the world, I'm not ready to write her off yet. I still think Svitolina, she can do so many different things well. Her game translates across surfaces well. It's a lot about confidence, and obviously, is she fit entering tournaments? Is she able to play her best tennis? Because her game is so predicated on staying fit. Now, again, the longer it goes, the more slams that are played, the more repetitions these youngsters get, the higher their ceiling is, and the higher they get to, the closer they get to approaching that ceiling. So she's certainly a candidate to keep an eye on. Madison Keys, the power tennis, we've seen her make a major final, 3 semifinals, 3 other quarterfinals. She's one of those ceiling players, right? Where if she clicks for 2 weeks at a Wimbledon, like we saw her click in week 1, or at a US Open where that serve, that forehand can just, the nighttime crowd, she's had success there before. Window's still open for her, but then you start to look at the next-gen WTA players, the Sabalenkas of the world. It's scary to say, but the Coco Gauffs of the world, who are closer to being ready to win slams than they are from being further away. This is an interesting thing to watch as we head into the summer hard courts, because as we wait for one of these next-gen players to really take hold of the tour, Barty may already be doing so, and that may be the closing of the chaos window. But that chaos window is clearly coming to a close, but there's still a creek open. And will it be a Pliskova, a Svitolina, a Keys, or is it time for a Sabalenka, a Gauff, that next gen, to continue to ascend? That's absolutely a storyline coming out of Wimbledon, and it's something for us to continue to monitor throughout the rest of this 2021 season.